At the base, Goslin's name was carved beside dozens of others. A place for grief, a place for remembrance. Duckburg, Town Square. Children laughed again. Huey, Dewey, and Louie handed out care kits. Scrooge McDuck coordinated reconstruction funds and granted amnesty credits to former resistance fighters. Webby trained with local security teams. Their city had stood, and it would again. USS Bellwether Memorial, Naval Pier. A bronze plaque listed every sailor lost at sea. Donald Duck stood before it, saluted once, then smiled faintly as the wind blew through his uniform.
"They did it,"
he whispered.
"Crazy bastards."
In Cape Suzette, the skies were clear for the first time in weeks. The sea duck soared overhead, trailing ribbons of color as Baloo and Kit dropped supply crates into the heart of the city. Rebecca coordinated rebuilding efforts with grit and grace, her clipboard swapped for a hammer as kids cheered from rooftops. Down below, pilots and dock workers raised a makeshift banner over Hire for Hire. Thank you, Darkwing. Meanwhile, in Spoonerville, families emerged from basements and bunkers into a soft golden morning. Max and PJ hauled planks to help rebuild the collapsed school gym, while Goofy handed out hot cocoa and awkward hugs that were met, this time, with no resistance. Pete didn't say much, but he worked beside them without complaint, sweat mixing with quiet gratitude. A battered TV set on a porch replayed Darkwing's final stand in grainy footage, and when the screen froze on his silhouette against the rising sun, the whole block paused and clapped. And for the first time in a year, no one felt afraid to hope, because the world was still broken, but it was still here. And that meant hope had won. Global news broadcast. 2 days after victory, the screen flickered to life.
We interrupt this program with a special report.
A weary news anchor, eyes ringed with exhaustion, stared into the camera.
In the aftermath of the battle that shook the skies above St. Canard, reports now confirm F.O.W.L's central nexus is gone. The rift scars are sealed. The threat is over.
A pause. The anchor swallowed hard.
And the duck who stood against the impossible, Darkwing Duck, was last seen walking alone through the ruins of St. Canard.
He has not been found since. But his legacy will not be forgotten. The camera panned slightly as breaking text scrolled across the screen.
President to address the world shortly.
And now we take you live to the White House, where President Mickey Mouse is preparing to address a recovering planet.
The feed cut. The White House press room appeared. Crowded, tense. Cameras flashed. Then, Mickey Mouse, dressed in a crisp formal jacket, ears shadowed slightly beneath the weight of history, approached the podium. A hush fell over the room. He placed both hands on the stand. His voice, when it came, was steady but thick with emotion.
My fellow citizens of Earth, today we remember those we lost. We honor those who stood, and we look to a tomorrow built not on fear, but on hope. Let us never forget the heroes who rose when the world needed them most. And let us remember, when one duck stood against the dark, he stood for us all.
The cameras flashed once more, and the world listened. Resistance HQ, Justice Wing. The Justice Ducks were legends now, but not statues. Morgana returned to her arcane sanctuary, guiding wayward spirits to peace. Launchpad helped build homes for families with nowhere left to go. Gizmo Duck worked side by side with engineers, turning weapons of war into tools of growth. Neptunia and Stegmut led relief efforts across flooded islands and wastelands. Honker became head of Rift technology regulation. But above all, they stood as proof that heroes do rise again. And when they gathered now, rare, unannounced, it wasn't to plan wars. It was to remember. Darkwing Duck? He disappeared. Some said he died after the final battle. Others said he turned into the wind itself. The truth? It was quieter than that. He simply walked away. 1 year later, somewhere forgotten, an abandoned field. Overgrown, quiet. The sun filtered through clouds above. Two figures stood, 20 paces apart. Darkwing Duck in his original purple cape and cowl, his eyes older, wearier, a new scar along his jaw, no gadgets, no armor, just him, and across from him. Nega Duck, fully healed, his suit stitched perfectly back into that terrifying crimson-yellow gleam. Augmented? Repaired? One arm clearly cybernetic, but his grin? Exactly the same. They stared at each other. No words at first. Then Darkwing spoke.
Been a long road.
Negaduck nodded.
We burned half the world just to get here.
Darkwing looked down briefly.
Goslin wouldn't want this.
Negaduck shrugged.
She's not here.
A pause. Then a grin from both. Darkwing whispered.
Let's get dangerous.
Negaduck smirked.
Always.
They dropped into stances. No backup. No tricks. Just history. Just them. They charged. Because some shadows never fade. The end. I want to thank you all for listening to this audiobook. Be sure to like and subscribe to more from NyBrian100 for more stories and content.